Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about Python, and this is going to be the crash course where you are going to learn Python basics to advance within an hour. So let's discuss about Python. So why Python is useful in today's market. Python is very useful in new technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science and much more. Previously Python was used for data processing and creating websites only. Now it becomes an essential part using which you can create all the new technology products which is based on artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. So without wasting your time, let's start the Python course. Python is very popular programming language and it can use to create the web-based applications that can run on our servers. Python is consist of very good features for file handling and for database handling. Now let's first create our first program, which is hello world. Simply what we need to do is we need to create a file with the extension .py. If you see, I have just created one file named index.py. In this .py is the extension which consists of Python. So in this, what we need to write here is print and then anything whatever we want to print in the our terminal. Let's say hello Python with gwg. Okay, I've just saved it and I'm just going to run it in the terminal. I just open my terminal. Now let's run our first program that we have created. We just mentioned hello Python with keys with these. So what we are going to do is we are going to run the command using the Python 3. Since we have Python 3 version, we are going to use Python 3 and then we are going to run it by using the file name. Yes, we got the output hello Python with gigs with you. Now let's see the installation process. Just go to the Google and type Python download and you will see the first link with download Python from the python.org website. Go into the website, click on this download button, download Python 3.12.2. Just click on it and you will able to save this library or you can say exe file in Windows. And after the download, just double click on this and install as any other application that you install. After the installation, you will see that if you open your terminal, you will see that Python is easily installed. After the installation, go to the terminal and press Python. Either Python or either Python 3. You can see, yes, your Python is installed on your system. Along with this, we are going to use VS Editor, Visual Studio Code Editor, provided by Microsoft. For that, go into Google and type download VS Code. You will see the first link which you need to click. After this, according to your operating system, just click on the link. You will see an extension that exe file is downloaded, and then after the file is downloaded, just double click on that and you will be able to install the VS Code. Now let's see the version of the Python that we installed. It's import sys, it's the system library, and then I can check the version of my Python. What we need to do is we need to type sys.version. Just save it, Control S, and then run it from the terminal. Python Python 3 and then version.py. You can see the Python version is 3.12.2. This is the latest version that we have and it's the Python 3 version. You can run your code from the terminal also. For that, what you need to do is you need to type Python 3 and then press enter. You just entered into the Python environment in the terminal. You can do any logic that you want and you can see the output in your screen. So this is another way of writing your code. And if you want to do exit from the terminal, you just need to write exit function. Now you are out of it. If you know about other programming languages like C or Java, you see that you need to create a basic structure to print hello world in that application. In Python, you do not need to do anything like that. Here, what you need to do is you need to simply call the print function, which is inbuilt function in Python, and press or type any string that you want to create or print in the Python. We all know about commutes. Comments are used to explain the logic that we have created in our application. Comment is used to make code more readable and to be understandable by the different coder, or we can say developer. It is used to prevent the execution when the code is in testing. To create a comment, simply type hash and your text, whatever you want to write. Now we can type anything like this is a comment, and when we execute our code, we can see nothing is printed. Now go back to our previous file, Python index file, and where we will type the comment about this file description, that this is a file used to print hello. We can say that this comment section does not has any relation with any code in our program. This is just for our understanding. Now let's discuss about the variables. Variables are used for storing data values. In Python, we do not need to declare any variable. In Python, a variable is created at the moment when you assign a particular value to that variable. Now let's see few examples of the variable. For example, x equals to 10. Here x can be considered as a variable. Here x is a variable who is storing the value 10 in itself. We can even store string value in a variable. Let's say like this, hello Python. So y is also considered as a variable. By using this variable, we can also print the value, for example Python x or print y. If we run this code, we can see it prints the 10 and hello Python in the code. Now let's discuss about the key aspects which we need to understand before creating a variable. We can see a variable name must start with a letter or an underscore character. A variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can only contains alphanumeric characters and underscores. A variable names are case sensitive. Example, age and capital Age or age. These are considered as three different variables. A variable name cannot be any of the Python keyword. These things we need to remember before creating a variable. Now let's see by creating few variable names. As we say, the variable name must start with a letter or underscore. Now let's create a variable with a number. 9 underscore apple is equals to, let's say, Python. So here we are getting error because we use the number in the start. If we remove this number, we can say that this variable is a correct one. You can try by creating different kind of variable names by using different aspects. Now let's discuss about data types used in Python. In Python, we have few different data types such as string, int, float, complex, list, tuples, range, dict, set, frozen set, boolean, bytes, byte array, memory view, and none data type. We will see few of them. Let's say I have created a variable named x and assigned some value to that. And now if we want to check what is the data type of this variable, what we can use a type function. A type function is used to define or to get the type of the variable. Let's say I have created one more variable and assigned the type in this particular variable. And now I print this particular type in the screen. You can see that class int get printed out. It means that this variable x is of integer type. Let's consider another example where we created a new variable a and assign a value such as string Python. Now let's check the type of this variable. We can use it directly like print and then type of this particular variable. Now if we print the type of the variable, we can see that it is of string type. There are few other data types that we will discuss in our next lectures. In Python, there are three types of numeric data types. First is int, which can be considered as integer. Second is float, and third one is complex. Now we will see examples of these one by one. Let's say I have created a variable and assigned a value to it, then it is considered as a integer type. And if I created a variable and assign some decimal values to it, then it will be considered as float value. And if I created a variable and assigned it as a complex number, then it is considered as a complex data type. You can check by using the print function with the type index and the variable name. Now let's print these and check what is the data types for all of these. You can see for first one, you can see class integer type get printed out, which is that we said integer. For the second one, it is the float type, and for the third one, it is the complex type. Now let's discuss about typecasting in Python. In Python, we can typecast one number type to different number type. Let's consider few examples for that. Let's say I have created one variable x and assign it a value of float type 1.5. Then by using this int function, we can typecast this value to integer type. Let's consider another example where I have taken one different value, let's say 1, and I want to assign it y a float value. Then I can use this float function here. Let's just print them out. You can see for the first variable x, we have assigned a value of integer type as 1 instead of 1.5. And also for variable y, we have assigned the value 1.0 instead of 1. You can also check the type by using the type function here. Now let's see another data type, Python strings. Strings are considered as the combination of characters which are marked in single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. And you can print the string using the print method. Let's consider few examples of string. Let's say x is equals to hello in single quotes, or let's say y is equals to hello in double quotes, or z is equals to hello in triple quotes. All these are considered as string. We can print these values one by one by using x, y, and I am just clearing my screen and then typing Python 3, Python 8. You can see the same output get printed out. I missed this, sorry for this. So let's be in sync. So you see same output get printed out for all the types that we have used, either in single quotes, in double quotes, or in triple quotes. Now in string, let's see the concatenation of two strings. Now if we want to concatenate, we need to use plus operator with those two variables, for example x and y. In string, it's going to merge those two strings and create a new string. Let's see how it works. You see that hello hello gets printed out in the last print method. Now let's see a new data type, Boolean data type. Boolean data type, if you learn in C, you know that it has two outputs only, either true and false. For true and false, T and F should be in capital letter. Now let's see few examples of these. For example, if I am comparing two values, then it's going to give either true or false. So let's consider this example. Here I have just print 10 is greater than 9. The output should be true. And another example is 10 is greater than 90. Then it should give false. Now let's execute them and see what will be the output here. You can see true and false are the output here as we discussed. In Python, there are multiple operations such as arithmetic operation, assignment operations, comparison operations, logical operations, identity operations, membership operations, and bitwise operations. Now let's see few of them. Now let's see arithmetic operations. We all know arithmetic operations are like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, and float division. We know that 5 plus 10 is equals to 15, right? But we need to check the same using the code. In Python, we can use the same, like we can create a variable and assign the value 5 plus 10 into this particular variable. And now if we print this variable and see what is the output, we will see the same thing as 15 in the output. Let me just write Python, the file name. You can see 15 is considered as a output here. We can directly use this value inside the print method also, and we will get the same output in this same condition. Now let's see different cases here, like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and other functions. Like subtraction, division, modulus, exponential, and floor division. Run this particular file and we can see the output as 15 minus 5 because 5 minus 10, 0.5 modulus is 5 and 5 to the power 10 is 9765625. Now let's see the assignment operators. Assignment operators are basically like assigning a value. We have checked it previously and using the arithmetic operations with the assignment operator. Let's say I have one variable x and I'm just adding some value in that particular variable. Let's say I'm just adding 5. So this x equals to x plus 5 can be considered as x plus equal 5 and so on for others also. We will see one example for addition assignment and compare with the normal logic here. For this, what we are going to do is we are going to create a variable and assign a value to that. X equals to 10 and then we are going to do x is equals to x plus 5. We know the current value of x is 10, so 10 plus 5 is going to be the 15 and value of x is going to be 15 here. We see this 15 as an output here. Now if we use the addition assignment operator instead of this particular case, yes, it's the same output we are getting here also. So addition assignment is going to reduce the use of same variable multiple times in the logic. So this, or we can say this, both are same. Similarly, same for subtraction assignment, multiplication assignment, division, modulus, exponential, and floor division. Now we will check for comparison operators, where the comparison operators are where we are comparing two values. One is equals to, second one is not equals to, third one is greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than or equals to. For this, what we are going to do, we are going to use two values directly in our logic, 10 and 5, and going to use the particular operator in between. And let's see what could be the output here. So for that, we are first going to use equal operator, and similarly, we are going to use the other operators in the logic. First, second one is not equal, third one is greater than, and then less than, then greater than equals to, and last one is less than equals to. Now let's see what is the output. False, true, true, false, true, false. We all know by using the comparison operators we will get the Boolean output. 10 is equals to 5 is false because the value of 10 is not equals to 5. Similarly, for this 10 is not equals to 5 is considered as true because both values are. Similarly, for this statement, we all know that value of 10 is greater than 5. For this we got false, and for this we got true, and for the last one we got the false also. Now we will let's see logical operators. Logical operators are used to combine comparison operators statements together to get some concrete output. For example, previously we used few comparison operators. Now let's use those comparison operators and combine those using some logical operators and add those together. So you will see that logical AND, OR, and NOT can be used to combine different comparison operators together. Let's see the output is true because 10 is not equals to 5 is true and 10 is greater than 5 is true. So combination is considered as true. You can use similarly OR operator and NOT operator. AND operator gives true only in the condition if both these statements or all these statements are true. OR operator considered to return true in the condition when any of the statement is true, and not operator is gives the reverse of the output. For example, let's say if I use not over this statement, then it will give us false, which is reverse of the previous response. Now we will see few of the data structures that's going to be used in Python. So there are mostly used data structures such as list, dictionary, tuple, set, frozen set. In this series, we are going to discuss about list, dictionary, and tuples. List is used to store multiple items in a single variable, and list items are stored in an ordered manner and can changed, and duplicate values are allowed. We can access the data in the list using the index value. Now let's create the first list and see the output. Now we can write the name of the list name, and then square bracket. Within square bracket, you can type your list. Let's say we are creating a list with the fruit names. So fruit names, you tell me, let's say apple, banana, papaya. We are just going to use these three. And first, let's see the type of this particular variable. For that, we need to use this type function, and inside this, we need to pass the list name. Here, if we run this, we can see the output as class list. So we know that this data is of list type. And in the second print, you can see the output of the list variables. And also, if we want to access these particular variables using the index, so here we are getting the output as banana. There are few functions also, like len function, which is used to find the length of the list. You can store different data types in the list. The tuples are used to store multiple items in a single variable, similar to list. But in tuples, collection which is in order, but it cannot be changed. If you try to change the data of this particular tuple value, then you will get the error as an output. So instead of square bracket, you need to define the data in the round brackets. All things remain same, but if you just write this particular data in instead of square bracket in the round bracket, you will create a tuple. And let's see the output here. You see the output is tuple data type instead of list data type. And we just also discussed that we can store or access the data using the index values. That's true, but we cannot modify the value in the tuple. What do you mean by the modification? Let's see the same variable. We modify the value of the same variable in both the cases. First, in the list, we are replacing banana with, let's say, kiwi. If we print this statement, we can see that kiwi is get changed in the list. But if we use the same change in the tuple type, we will get the error, because in tuple we cannot change the value of the data which is defined in the tuple. Tuple items are in ordered and unchangeable and allowed the duplicate values. Tuple items are indexed. First item has index 0 and so on. These are ordered, unchangeable and allow duplicate, but we cannot modify the values of the tuple. Same function, length function, is used to find the length of the tuple. Let's see how we can do that. If we want to find the length of a tuple, we can use len function, and inside that we need to pass the whole tuple dataset, and we will see the length. Just a second. And we will see the length of the tuple. Similarly, we can check the length of the list data type also. We can use the type function to find the type of the tuple also, as we did previously. Now let's see the another data type, set. So what is set? Set is used to store multiple items in a single variable. Set is a built-in data type in Python used to collect the data. A set is the collection which is unordered. We need to understand, in set the data is unordered and unchangeable and unindexed. For defining a set, what we need to do is we need to define the data in the curly brackets. In curly bracket, whatever data we define is considered as a set type. You can print the type of the data and you will see the set as an output. Set items are unordered, unchangeable, and duplicates are not allowed. Let's see, if we try to define the duplicate value in the set, what is the output? You see in this set, this particular set gets remove the duplicate data from the set data. If you try to do the same thing in tuple and list, you can able to use that. For finding the length in the list, we can use the len function. For finding the type of the list, we can use the type function. In set, as we discussed, this data is unordered. If you see the output, you can see banana, apple and papaya. But we define apple, banana and papaya. You can see the sequence can be changed or vary according to the time. And it is not mandatory or necessary that the data will be print in the same particular format. Now we will see another data type, dictionary data type, which is used to store data in the form of key value pairs. By means of key value pair, we means that key can be defined by our side. Let's see one example. We just define a variable dict data in the curly bracket, and in this we can define, let's say, make as a key, then make name, let's say Maruti, then model let's say 800. It's pretty old, but yeah, we are going to use. And year, let's say 1990. I'm not sure about the year, but yeah, we are using some dummy data for this, and we can print this dict data, and we also check for the type of this particular variable. Here we see the data type of this particular variable is dictionary type, and the output is make, model and years in the curly brackets. If we want to access a particular data using the key value, we can use the key to find the value of that particular data. Let's say if we want to access the model, we can write dict data and then model, and we will see the model as an output, which is 800. We can also find the length of this data by using the len function. Let's check this out also. Len and then the variable, we can see 3 is the output, which is the length of this dictionary data type. Now let's see the conditional statements in Python. Conditional statements in Python allows you to execute different blocks of code based on whether conditions, either it's true or false. There are few conditional statements that we are using in Python is if statement, if else statement, if else statement, and nested if statements. There is one more conditional operator is ternary operator, we will see in this series. Now back to if statement. If statement states that if you are executing a block of code, if the certain condition is true, then the block of code get executed. For example, we have assigned a value 10 to the variable x, and after that we are checking if x value is greater than 5. If the condition is true, then it's going to execute the other block of code. Here in the if statement, it is used to execute a block of code on the specific condition is true. Here x value is 10 and we are just checking is x value is greater than 5. We know 10 is greater than 5, it is true. Then the block of code which is inside the if statement is going to execute, and it is will print x is greater than 5. Let's see how it works. So when we execute this block of code, we can see the output is x is greater than 5. If we mark x value as 1 and if we execute this particular code, then we will not see any output because x is equals to 1, and now we are checking is 1 is greater than 5, which can be marked as false. In such cases, we can use if else case here. There is another scenario where we can use else condition where our first statement marks as false. Here, if we mark x equals to 3 and check if is 3 is greater than 5, since x value 3 is less than 5, then it will give false and this code is not going to execute. In thus such cases, if we use only if statement, then nothing is going to print. Instead, we mark else statement and print the particular data, and in that case we will see x is not greater than 5 as an output. There is one another scenario where you want to compare more than one values. In such cases, we will use elif statement. If elif else. So there can be multiple elif in between if and else as per our requirement. If we run this code, we can see the output is x is equals to 10. Since x value is 10 and we are checking is x is equals to 10 or greater than 10. Since x is equals to 10, then the print statement inside this elif is going to be printed. Another if statement is nested if. By means of nested means like we are using another if clause inside first if clause. This can be in the chain like if inside if inside if. It can be n times. For the sake of simplicity, we are just using two if statements. Here we assign a 10 value to x value and check if x is greater than 5. Yes, it's true. Then it's going to print x is greater than 5. And then inside this particular statement, it again checks is x is equals to 10. Yes, it's again true. Then it will print x is equals to 10 as an output. You can see these two outputs get generated in these two conditions. As we discussed previously, there is one another operator which is ternary operator which can be used instead of if else. So this is the shorter form of if else. Here we have assigned 10 value to variable x and we are checking if x is greater than 5. If this condition is true, then it's going to return x is greater than 5. If this condition is false, then else statement is going to execute. Let's see the output. Here we are seeing x is greater than 5 as an output. If we mark x value as 2, then we can see the output is x is not greater than 5. This is the short form of our if else statement. Now let's move to our next topic, loops. In Python, loops are used to execute a block of code repeatedly. There are two types of loops in Python. First is for loop and second one is while loop. The for loop is used to iterate over the sequence such as list, tuple, string or range or any iterable object. Here we know how many loops which is we are going to process. Since the for loop is executed the number of times the elements we have in our list. If we see the first example here, we have defined a fruit variable and assigned the value apple, banana and cherry inside this fruit. And then if we execute using the for loop, we need to define first the variable name and then the in clause and as a different alias. So what it will do, it will pick one element each time and print apple, banana and cherry one by one. Similarly, for characters, if we want to print characters from the Python like as a string, we can even use this directly and we can print each character one by one from the string. Another example is using the range. Using the range function, we can get the list which consists of the elements starting from 0 till 4, and if we pick one by one each element, then we will get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as an output. Now let's see by running each of these. You can see it prints apple, banana and cherry and then Python python and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as an output. Now let's see the while loop. The while loop is used to repeatedly execute a block of code as long as specific condition is true. Generally, while loop is used where we don't know what is the end of the logic. Here we have defined a simple logic where we define a variable I as a 1 and we are checking until if I is less than 5, we are going to process this data infinite times, and when this condition fails, then it will return false and the loop get completed. Now let's see after executing the code. You can see the value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets printed out using this particular while. Now let's see the loop control statements break and continue, which we can use inside the for loop and while loop using the if conditions, so that we can break or continue the logic accordingly. Here, whenever we want to stop the execution at a particular condition, then we can use break and continue. So we have just given one example where we are just printing one by one value range from 1 to 11, and you can see if value is equals to 5, we are going to break the loop, and if I modulus 2, we know that modulus gives the remainder part. If I modulus 2 equals to 0, it means that this is the particular even number. In that case, we are not going to print, and the continue will move the cursor back to the for loop. Let's see what is the output here. So we can see 1 and 3 is the output. Thanks for watching this Python short tutorial. If you want to learn more, contact us.